Seeker. Written by Suzana Thompson. Performed by Heather Firth. Chapter 19. Everything seems to go back to normal between me and Silas. He doesn't bring up marriage again, and I'm surprised that no one else mentions it either. I guess Shelby's group doesn't spread gossip around school. We actually settle into a comfortable routine with them at lunch. Silas has finally stopped blurting out too much personal information. I have to be like Scott, he tells me when I compliment him on knowing what needs to be kept private. He has to keep his werewolf nature secret from the rest of the school. That's right, I say. It's just like on the show. You don't tell people all your secrets. I only tell you, he says. Only me, I agree. What are your secrets? He asks. I don't really have any, I reply. Except for seeing you back when you weren't human, I didn't have any other secrets. I am your only secret, he states. You were, I tell him, but now I don't have to keep you a secret anymore. He smiles at me, and I'm struck by how nice he looks now compared to how creepy his blank expression used to be. He's attractive, but there is nothing conceited about him. I wonder what kind of person he would have been if he had been born human and grown up good-looking. Will you go to homecoming with me? He questions suddenly. Awkwardness again. I thought we talked about this, I protest. We're not dating. As friends, he explains. I heard a guy ask the girl whose locker is beside mine if she would go to homecoming with him as friends. She said yes. He pauses as I hesitate. It's just that I've never been to a dance, he adds. Not as a participant. I've only been to attend to the dying. Heart attacks, aneurysms, drug overdoses. I quickly interrupt him before he can continue the list of fatalities. I get it. You never got to dance. No, he confirms. I contemplate it for a moment, but it just makes me terribly sad to think of going without Chloe. We were all going to get a limo together and go as a group. I'm sorry, Silas, but I'm just not in the mood to go to a dance right now. I don't feel like dancing when my friends are. You're still grieving. He finishes for me. I understand. Thanks, I say. I'd tell you to ask Shelby if she didn't already have a date. It's all right, he assures me. There will be other dances. Yeah, I agree, but a melancholy mood has come over me. My friends assumed that they'd be at this dance. They didn't expect to die so young and so suddenly. I think about how Chloe betrayed me by sleeping with my boyfriend, but she still didn't deserve to die for that. It makes me angry at God again for taking her away. Do you want to go to Tara's church with me this Sunday? Silas asks. No, I state vehemently. I don't want to go to church. All right, he concedes. I know you find church boring. Maybe you'd like to go on an outing with the youth group. Tara said they do things like bowling. I visited a bowling alley once before the entire building burned down. It was a flash fire created by a lightning strike. Almost everyone inside— Stop, I plead. I don't want to hear about any more people dying. I know it's your past, but I just can't deal with that right now. I'm sorry. He apologizes. I didn't mean to upset you. It's okay, I tell him. I'm just— The bell interrupts me. Well, I say after it stops ringing, we'd better get to class. Yeah, he says. Later, Mila. That coaxes a small smile from me. Later, Silas. He turns and walks away, and I watch him for a moment. His easy gait lacks any male posturing or attitude. He is just simply walking to his destination without noticing the glances of the girls he passes. I feel a warm affection for him now as I turn to go to my own class. Who knew that Death would turn out to be such a nice guy? I've forgiven Silas for his part in the death of my friends, because he couldn't have stopped them from dying. God could have, though. God controls everything, so he could have kept them alive. My grandma was old, so I don't begrudge him that as much. But my friends were too young to die. And what about those poor little kids at the zoo? They hardly got to live at all. Why was God so cruel? My train of thought leads me to Tara and her new influence over Silas. She brought him a Bible, and now he's going to her church. I did want him to make friends, but I had more normal people in mind. I still think that she has a crush on him, and I wonder if he'll start to like her back. She's not a blonde, but she is not a bad-looking girl, especially for wearing no makeup. She keeps her long hair tied back, but I bet it would look really pretty loose. It's too bad she won't go to the dance, because I know that Silas would be safe with her. She wouldn't get him into any trouble. I think back on what he said about drug overdoses, and I decide to have a talk with him after school. Nobody is home yet at my house when I call him, and I love having this time to myself. "Hey," I say after he answers. "What are you doing?" "I'm having a snack," he says. Food again. I should have known. "So, I just wanted to talk to you about drugs." Something occurs to me. "Has anyone at school tried to sell you drugs?" "No," he replies. "Good," I say in relief. "Don't ever take drugs. Don't even try them." "I won't," he promises. "I didn't become mortal to destroy this human body. I don't want to die before my time." "Good," I repeat. "I don't want you to die either." "You're the only one who's concerned about me," he tells me. "It's nice to have someone, since I have no parents." I think about how lonely it must be for him. As much as I love having the house to myself, I wouldn't want to be alone all the time. "You know that you can call me whenever you need to talk to someone." "Thank you, Mila," he responds. "And you can also call me." I realize that he's now my closest friend. Thanks, Silas. "So," I begin, "how's school going?" "Very well," he answers. "I've been placed in the senior Spanish class, and I'm doing better at math." "You didn't tell me that. That's awesome," I exclaim. I knew you would impress them with your language skills. "Math is the only thing holding me back. Mrs. Brusso said that I might be able to graduate next year if I go to summer school." I remember that Mrs. Brusso is the counselor. "That's great. You could start college a year earlier." "Or I can work," he suggests, "and earn my own money." "You'll have plenty of money for a while if Jack comes through for you with that 100,000. Have you heard from him?" "No," he answers. "He said it would take some time." Yeah. I try not to worry about what will happen if Jack doesn't give Silas the money. What will he do once the $1,000 that Jack gave him runs out? Even with a place to stay, he still needs to buy food. He could get a job, I guess, but that will cut into his homework time. He's just starting to get adjusted at school, and it might overwhelm him with a job on top of it. "I'm attracted to you." My thoughts screech to a stop. "What?" His voice comes out steady over the phone. "You said that being attracted is wanting to kiss someone. Last night, I watched Scott kiss Allison, and then I was imagining kissing you. Allison's dead, I blurt nervously. How is he kissing her if she's dead? He questions. She's not dead yet, but she gets killed in a later season. Sorry, I spoiled that for you. I babble before trying to focus on dealing with the other thing he said. Look, it's natural to imagine yourself doing something you see on TV, but that's imagination. It's not real life. I want it to be real, he tells me. I was thinking about it in class, too. What can I possibly say to that? Have you thought about kissing me? He asks. No, I answer. I'm sorry, Silas, but I haven't. Use your imagination, he instructs. I stifle a nervous laugh. I'm sorry, but I just don't think of you that way. I didn't think of you that way either until last night, he says. It just happened, like you said it would. Maybe it will happen that way for you too. I don't want to give him false hope. I don't think it will. But you don't know, he says. Humans don't know what's going to happen. I no longer know what's going to happen to people. It makes life exciting not to know what's coming next. I guess, I say, unless there's something bad coming. I'm glad that he's got a positive attitude, and that he wasn't crushed by my rejection. But I don't share his enthusiastic outlook on life. Not after all my friends died.